Hey guys, Ash here from C4E Tech along with my co-host, the amazing disappointment, who calls himself Sundar. Don't you guys agree that he's a disappointment? I mean, didn't we have a deal? We had a deal. 3,000 retweets and I get to do this on cam. How many of you went and retweeted it? There are like 1,500 plus people who've been waiting for this moment. There have been people who've been asking us over and over and over again when it's gonna happen live. And then he goes ahead and does it in the hospital when he was out sick. And why was he out sick? He just got way too excited looking at the iPhone 10 announcement.
Anyway, by the time it reaches 3,000 retweets, my hair will be all grown up again.
I don't know guys, give this video a thumbs up if you feel disappointed that he did this. I am disappointed. And anyway, just because he lost his hair, he made sure I lost something and broke the K8 note right on return. So early morning today, Sundar wanted, early morning as in mid-noon, he walked into work by 12 noon. Yes, C4E Tech happens to be a place where you can do that. So, and then he's like, I'm gonna shoot some videos on the Note 8. And I'm like, dude, I'm not trusting you with the Note 8 on your first day back. You know, you're sick and stuff. He's like, no, I'm good. And like, get the thumbnail for the K8
That was
note.
for shooting pictures, right?
And this was for shooting a thumbnail.
Yeah, thumbnail.
And then he breaks the K8 note. So at least... So anyway guys, Ash Answers is the show where we answer the questions that you tweet out using the hashtag AshAnswers. And without further ado, let's get to the questions.
Keeping the specs aside, Apple iPhone 10 seems like the most expensive LG Q6, don't you think?
Don't you think?
I don't think so.
He doesn't think so.
True, it is very expensive, crazy expensive.
The phones have nothing to do with each other, guys. As in like the Q6, yeah, the only thing they share in common is the fact that they both don't have fingerprint scanners.
Yeah. And have near bezel-less displays.
Q6 doesn't have near bezel-less displays. I don't think it's at the same level as the iPhone 10.
Okay.
So, wherein Apple is actually giving different technology for the Face ID, this is just the same old stuff with Q6 that we've been seeing since Ice Cream Sandwich, wherein the front camera just looks for your face. So that can be fooled with like
a
photograph, probably.
660 in Mi Note 3 means 630 on Redmi Note 5. What do you think? After using all the flagships, can you both live with Redmi Note 4 with MIUI or Redmi Note 5, does he mean?
Yeah, probably 630. I would be happy to see 630 because definitely. One more Xiaomi phone with 625 and it's like, how many 625s do you use? Okay, so, not bashing Xiaomi for it, but I really hope the Redmi Note 5, they don't come up with another 625. Probably won't. 630 and maybe 660, I don't know. Yeah, Mi Note 3 has 660, but at the same time, the Mi A1 or the Mi5x, which was still part of the Mi line, did come with the 625. Yeah. So maybe a Redmi gets a 660, I don't know. Xiaomi's lines have been a little confusing as of late. So 660 would be like wishful thinking, happy, makes me a very happy customer. 630, I'm not gonna be very disappointed, but I'm not gonna be
happen because it's gonna launch at around 11K or something.
No, but here's the thing, right? When Oppo is selling a phone for around 30K with the 660, these are the kind of phones that Xiaomi generally gives in the 15K segment. So, yes, in all probability, the Redmi Note 5 will definitely come with the 630, but it isn't too far-fetched to see a Redmi Note 5 Prime or something. Like what they did with the Mi Max and the Mi Max Prime, which came with the 652. So something like that is definitely possible. Xiaomi did, after all, throw in a 625 for the 9,000 rupee variant of the Redmi 4 Prime in China. Yeah. So that is a full HD display 625. So yeah, and as far as Redmi Note 4 or Redmi Note 5 with MIUI, I can definitely live with it. Camera, if you're talking about the Redmi Note 4, the camera is where I'd feel the most let down, but the phone itself, the excellent battery life and the performances, I can live with it.
Do you think flagships by Chinese companies are overpriced now, considering they were launched for below 20K 2 years back? For example, the Mi 3, Mi 4, Oneplus One.
So here's my have the prices gone up? The answer is yes. But are they overpriced? Hell no.
No.
You can't. Yes, when the OnePlus 5 came out, it was like, they've jumped up. I mean, they've hiked the prices up by like 5K. They're pushing. I mean, they used to be half of a flagship phone's price, and then we get something like the Note 8 at 68. You divide it. Then, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, half of 68 is 34. The OnePlus 5 is still $1,000 cheaper than 50%.
The equation still
goes. Yeah. So, and with the iPhone, it's like 1/3 the price almost. So overall prices have been going up, but I don't really consider them overpriced. Whether we're talking about a Redmi Note 4 or even something like a Mi A1 or a Honor 6X or even a Z2 Plus, you know, you see all these Chinese phones, they aren't really overpriced. Yes, they are priced a little more, but yeah, they still got value for money.
Did Sundar go into coma after knowing the price of the iPhone X?
He was so elated, he got overexcited, and that kind of put him in the hospital. So it's the alternative. He was
See,
like,
$999, that was expected, but $89K in India, that wasn't.
I don't know, off cam, he goes on telling me, see, the FS7 is 4K 60 FPS. If Sony can charge freaking 7 lakhs for the FS7, why can't Apple charge? I mean, that's like weird logic, guys. That's weird logic. And I mean, his body realized how weird his logic was. That his hair shed by itself. And by the way, I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce my cool companion, the Sum Ejector tool.
I'm still staying within my limits.
So you love the pricing?
Of course not.
$999 is cool, right?
$999, no, it's not cool.
Okay.
See, here's my thoughts about the iPhone. See, iPhone 4 to 4S, we had something great. It had a great camera. I mean, the camera upgrade was kind of huge, 5 to 8 megapixels. 4S to 5, larger display and a completely different design, a new design. At the same cost, of course. I mean, iPhones were always $650, right?
Okay.
And iPhone 5 to 5S, we had a revolutionary fingerprint sensor. It was actually revolutionary.
Okay.
See, we are seeing fingerprint sensors in almost every phone today, right? Every phone that costs more than 10K, or even less than 10K.
I mean, and guys, remember, maybe a few years from now, we'd have Sundar sitting probably at a desk like this going, the iPhone 10 had a revolutionary display. I mean, these days, don't you see bezel-less on everything? The iPhone 10, that's what sparked it. Everybody goes bezel-less now. So, of course...
That's a different story. By the time iPhone brought the bezel-less display, there have been so many phones already.
Okay.
But
nobody had a fingerprint scanner before the
They
iPhone.
did, but they didn't really lead other brands into coming up.
That's exactly what you're going to be saying about the bezel-less display. No, other people did. Xiaomi, that Chinese company, Xiaomi something, they had it.
See, Xiaomi had it, Samsung had it, LG had it.
Samsung was not covering the top of the display, so that doesn't count. Dude, see, guys, tune in 3 years from now. That's it.
Okay,
3 years from now. Let's see.
Actually see. Okay. So the 6 to 6s had 3D touch. Again, same price tag, $650. But then things changed, like started going downwards. And I kind of don't like it. I hate Apple for doing this. Apple's like keeping the best feature, the dual cameras for the Plus variant. So that's something I really hope maybe with the iPhone 8, they would probably give dual cameras for the regular size flagship. Now it almost feels like a Samsung Mini. Yes, it's not a Samsung Mini. iPhone 8 still doesn't have dual cameras.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping it would get dual cameras. See, I don't really care about the 2 gigs and 3 gigs of RAM.
Now, just wait. So now the Plus variant always costs $100 more than the regular variant, right? And now there's an iPhone 10, an upgraded version of the Plus variant again, and that costs $999. So we aren't getting anything for the same price. At $650, we aren't getting anything. We aren't getting an upgrade, of course, except the chip and RAM or whatever. That's always gonna be there. But apart from that, something revolutionary, like something like
doesn't the build change?
The build did change. It's now 202 grams. Who's gonna?
That's the 8 Plus.
That's crazy. 200 grams, guys. I've already hated the iPhone 7 Plus for being so heavy. It's now 14 grams heavier than the 7 Plus.
And still no headphone jack.
Still no headphone jack.
Yeah, anyway, see, I'm not justifying Apple's prices or anything, but I feel compared to most brands, there's been a kind of move somewhere.
Okay.
Okay, yes, Apple is, I mean, of course, they haven't, what do you say, really revolutionized anything or like kind of shaking things up a lot. But from an Apple perspective, they're doing a lot more. Taking a bit of a gamble with the iPhone 10 with the Infinity display, or Apple's Infinity display, let's call it that. You know, I just feel Apple's finally doing something. I don't know, the 6S, 7, no, not 7S, but 6S, 7 were kind of, I mean, they were
And
cool
the iPhone
phones.
8 is basically an iPhone 7S.
Okay.
Not a huge upgrade.
But aren't you the one who just called stuff like Touch ID and Force Touch as revolutionary updates?
Yeah, is there anything like that on the iPhone
Wireless
8?
charging. Of course, you got to buy stuff
No.
separately, but wireless
Yeah, even
charging.
that.
And you know what? Today we see, again, now fast forward 3 years, and Apple revolutionized wireless charging. I mean, before that, there were some brands that,
I
what is
was
it, that
ignorant.
Korean brand, something, Samsung, whatever, they had it, but it doesn't count. Because, you know, Apple kind of led the way. Now, today you see everybody has wireless charging. Hell, it's there in like coffee days and whatnot. I mean, it's still there in the US, but yeah, it's there. And Apple kind of revolutionized it, wireless charging.
I won't say that.
Okay, so coming back, what's that? He started swiping again.
Did Sundar go into coma after knowing the
Ah.
price of the iPhone X? iPhone 10.
iPhone 10. Why couldn't they call it iPhone X?
Yeah. When are you going to shoot Hello Moto video? Pissed off with what they did.
So guys, for those who are just tuning in, if you're not aware, basically Moto allegedly promised Android N and O updates for the Moto G4 Plus, and there are people who claim that it was on the website. There are screenshots, very legit looking screenshots of the website pages where it says the Moto G4 Plus will be upgraded to Android N and O.
It's on the leaflets.
It's on the leaflets, printed materials. Yes, the leaflets aren't really Indian stuff. It's Brazilian or something, but it's there. There's a bunch of people who've sent us screenshots and everything. And then we go back and ask Moto India about this on Twitter. They reply back saying, yes, the Moto G4 Plus is getting Android O update. And then a few minutes later, or rather half an hour later, the tweet gets deleted. So there have been multiple promises that they've broken, and now this is something when it's in promotional material, if it's like in the box, if it's saying something on the freaking leaflet in the box, yes, it's not an Indian unit, but it is said, it's not like it's only India that's not getting Android O. They're just not giving Android O to the G4 Plus at all, and that is really crazy. But I seriously don't want to do a Dear Moto video, because end of the day, it makes no difference. So I'm just gonna leave a link to a petition that somebody started with regards to this.
Nice.
So hopefully you guys can sign it. I will do it. I would have done it before you watched this video. Yeah, so we're gonna call if I were to shoot a video, I thought instead of Dear Moto, I'd probably do a Hello Moto. That would have been more apt, but now we're just gonna call this the Hello Moto segment. So if there's nothing from Moto, I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think a brand can actually go ahead and put stuff on the promotional material and then deny that it exists, change everything on their websites and stuff, and then deny that they ever promised the update rather? And it's not like we've been bashing Moto, we've just reached out to them and asked them what's happening, can you please clarify? And that's when they tweeted and then deleted the tweet.
And we actually appreciated them when they told that they'll be giving out.
Yeah, but then they deleted it and there's nothing. The problem here is, if it was a misunderstanding, I really don't see how you could print something and wait till the update actually happens to actually say it's a misunderstanding. But even if it were a misunderstanding, I really wish Moto or Lenovo would speak up and explain to the followers, you know, to the brand fans, and the people who actually bought the phones, the end consumers who have actually dropped their hard-earned money on it. Just explain what's happening. You know, here's where a brand like Apple stands apart. I mean, Face ID did fail in the presentation. within hours they did have an explanation on why it failed. Okay, you believe it, you don't, you buy it, you don't, that's totally different. But at least they're keeping viewers informed with regards to what's happening. And over here it's just pin drop silence. Nothing.
What's your take on Xiaomi launching the Mi Mix 2 in India? Do you think it's a late entry for their bezel-less devices?
Better late than never.
It's not even late, I guess.
Yeah, who else is selling bezel-less devices in India?
Q6 doesn't count. 33,000.
Yeah, the Q6 doesn't count. Your, I mean, too low spec. Something like the Canvas Infinities, again, much lower with regards to specs. So what else is there? You've got your S8 and stuff.
LG G6 is the closest.
Yeah, and all those are priced much higher.
Yeah.
Okay.
G6 costs around 40,000.
40. So this would come in a little cheaper.
Yeah, 30,
but then again, this doesn't have bezels on the top either. So I don't really think it's too late. And of course, I'm really happy to see Xiaomi honor their one flagship a year.
Yeah.
At least that. I mean, that really sucks. I wish they would come out with more phones in India, but at least one flagship a year. And now the Mi A1 have me a little happy with Xiaomi.
Telephoto versus wide angle versus monochrome as secondary camera. Your opinion?
Your opinion?
My opinion, I'd go with telephoto. How about you? What's your favorite implementation?
Telephoto plus monochrome. It doesn't. It's not a either or. Huawei P10 has that setup. Telephoto plus monochrome.
The P10.
P10 and the Mate
9,
8
Pro
9,
8,
9. No Pro, Mate 9. Mate 9, no, Mate 8. Mate 9, I don't know. Whatever it is, the last Mate that we reviewed, that one has the same setup. So, I mean, the wide angle lens is cool and all that. What is the phone that I used the wide angle lens on?
G5.
Okay, I covered the G5. No, recently?
Q6, front camera was wide angle.
Nah, not
the Zenfone 4.
Zenfone 4, yes. So I like the wide angle implementation, but that's not something I really use a lot. I do. It's cool when I have the camera. It's like a luxury functionality for me. But the telephoto option it gives me a little bit more room to play with regards to the camera. I don't know, it's just personal preference. Somebody could say the exact same thing in reverse and it would be totally fine for you. That's totally personal preference. For me, I like the telephoto aspect a little bit more so that I could get some kind of different shots that I want. So that's that. Maybe ask me in a few weeks, I'd probably go wide angle, but today this is where my head's at. And here's the disclaimer, I'm extremely depressed right now, so you can't, whatever I say might change. He depressed me. He depresses me. One more phone. And you understand, I can't even yell at him because he's like sick. He got out of the hospital yesterday and he came into work today. So I can't even be pissed. But one more phone bites the dust. Thankfully, after we've gotten the B-rolls and everything.
Why iPhones have low battery life and Apple is not improving it. Even with 2017 iPhones, they decrease capacity.
Mate, your question is kind of wrong. Let me rephrase the question for you. Why iPhones have low battery capacity? The battery life is not all that bad. The iPhone 7, the battery life is actually quite good. The 7 Plus had excellent battery life. The 7 was more or less on par with flagships, Android flagships, which had like 3000 milliamp hour batteries. And now probably, I don't know, I've not used the 8 or 8 Plus yet, but in recent times at least, Apple's battery life hasn't been all that bad, especially the Plus variants have been great. And the regular variants have been, for moderate usage, a day easy. And of course, let's now get the opinions of our resident Apple expert.
I was going to say the same. You reviewed the 7 and the 7 Plus, right?
Yes.
And you didn't find the battery life.
I didn't break it. I thought he was going to say, and you didn't break it.
Why don't other brands make phones with stylus like Samsung does?
I did talk about this a lot in my why I'm not excited for the Note 8 video. So here's a card to that video. You can check out the part where I talk about the S Pen. So short version, Samsung has some kind of probably has some kind of tie-up with Wacom, whose digitizer and S Pen digitizer technology is what's being used in the Note series. It's probably an exclusive partnership kind of thing so that nobody else gets to use it. There are other brands who've come up with alternative technologies that work, but nobody's been able to, or rather wanted to do it in this small form factor. I am gonna go with nobody has been able to rather than have not wanted to, because, well, Apple's got the technology. The Apple Pencil is supposed to be quite as good. Nvidia did it with the Shield tablet K1, Shield K1 tablet, whatever, the Shield tablet, let's call it that. And Microsoft has the Surface Pen, right? So these are similar implementations wherein the stylus is not your regular capacitive stylus, but nobody's been able to put it in the Samsung form factor.
Most boring thing about being a YouTuber?
Transitions. What about you? I should
FX.
explain. What FX?
I don't know, you just said transitions, you said FX.
What's the most boring part about being a YouTuber for you?
I don't know. As of now, nothing, guys. It hasn't been that long since I came in, so maybe after a year or two, if you ask me, I'll have something to say.
The worst part of being a YouTuber, not the most boring part, the worst part is that one moment. The moment when I turn, I look at Sundar's face and I know, damn it, he's broken something. It's like that kid who pees somewhere and then comes to, comes to the parents and goes like, and then you can look at the kid's face and you know it. So it's like that. I look at Sundar like, oh my God, what now? He goes like, okay, no.
Okay, back to the question.
Okay, the most boring thing about being a YouTuber, by the way, hashtag poor Ash. Most boring thing is transitions, as in like, if you ask me to just script videos, if I have to do 3 videos a day and if I've just got to write scripts, I can do it. I don't have a problem. But if I've got to transition from writing a script, then going and voicing it over, and then transition into shooting B-rolls, those transit times, it's extremely boring and annoying and messed up to keep doing it. If it's totally a different speciality, each of them. And as in, it requires a different kind of concentration, every one of them. Like when you're scripting, you just have to be closed off from everything. And you're just thinking about the phone, the script, and that's all. But then you don't really move a lot. You just are sitting over there. And make sure you don't move, because you keep moving that mouse around, then you're going to go onto Twitter and start reading and replying, and then check Feedly, and then just pop by onto Cricinfo and see what's happening, and then jump to PW Picks and read some WWE news, whatever. So, that's how the mindset needs to be. But then once you jump into B-rolls or something, and it doesn't really matter how you feel. You might be really pissed at home, but you can still write a script. That's cool. But then once you're in front of the camera, even though I might be feeling, oh my God, what the hell, man, Sundar just broke another phone. But then I'm supposed to go, hey guys, Ash here from C4E Tech, and welcome to another episode of Ash Answers. And then Sundar goes, what about me? And I go like, okay, my co-host Sundar. But that kinda, you need to pull something out of yourself. So that requires a different something. And then when you're shooting B-rolls, you can be really silent. You can play music and all that. But you need to be able to think, visualize what's happening. That requires a different kind of skill at that point. And all this, and editing is again different. So jumping between all these, so on days when I just script, I can get a lot more work done. But if I have to do everything on one day, then I'm going to waste a bucket load of time in between. So once I'm done with the script, I'm like, let me go. So flipping those switches, the time it takes to do that, that's probably the most boring thing and most annoying thing about being a YouTuber.
Have you ever thought of moving to the open box and record audio simultaneously kind of unboxing? You would save on some time.
Exactly. So this is something we used to do when I was just starting out. But then, guys, if I'm gonna do unboxing where I'm just talking and I have a camera just shooting it, then it's not gonna be really concise and on point. And I can't give you any of the cool looking shots because it's all happening live, right? As in, not really live, but then I'm talking as I'm filming. So I don't want to go ahead and reiterate the same points. And when you look at AshAnswers, it's fun and everything, but then it could be shorter if it's all on point. But then this is a different kind of video where we are having a conversation. But with unboxings, I kind of feel it needs to be as concise as possible and give you guys as much information as I can in as short a while and make it look as good as possible so that you get a high quality video. And here's the saddest example of, I get where you're coming from. Okay, here's the saddest example of how it causes us to screw up at times. So the Note 8 unboxing, I was the only person in the office working, so it was like I got the phone, and for the next 7.5 hours, 8 hours I spent doing everything, unboxing and getting cool b-rolls and everything. And by the time I was done with the video and the video went live, it was 11:30 in the night. So here's the rule: as an Indian tech YouTuber, you do not release videos past 10 because nobody's gonna watch it, which means YouTube thinks your video is crap. So YouTube's never gonna suggest it, which means your videos, nobody's gonna see it. But then I was so damn proud of the videos. Like, that's probably one of my best, it's probably my best work, one of my best videos in a while. So here's a card to that if you want to check it after hearing all about this. So anyway, so I really wanted to push it out, and I was just telling you guys on Twitter, if you were with me that day, that the video is dropping by 8:30, 9:30, it kept getting pushed. But then there were so many people who were waiting for it. But though it might not be, hundreds of thousands of people, but at least those 50 people or whatever who were waiting for it, it's like, I've made these people wait for 4 hours. Yes, I know I'm probably killing a video off by releasing it at this time, but I still wanted, everybody to see it. So the video went live. I could have probably done a shorter, the way you say, just put the camera and talk, and that would have been possibly one of the first unboxings of the Note 8 in India, meaning a lot of people would have watched it. But end of the day, it's not about the views. Yes, it is to an extent, but it's about taking pride in your work. So if I had done a video like that and it gotten like 500,000 views now, it would be great for business. It would be great for the channel, but it wouldn't be a video I'm proud of. But this one, I'm proud of the video.
Apple will be selling adapter lightning cable separately, that is fast charge capable, for $75. Doesn't come out of the box. Your thoughts?
I know this is something, again, our resident Apple expert needs to answer. What do you think?
Again, I mean,
you hate Apple for this, but then again, the iPhone 10 is an awesome phone. I really want to buy it.
Wireless charger not coming out of the box is understandable because no brand does that, but this is ridiculous. Just for $999.
I know, just rewind back a month or a few weeks and people were pissed that Xiaomi was not giving it for their 15,000 buck phone.
Xiaomi?
In the box. No, I'm just saying.
Can't afford to.
Okay, and they could still give it. It's not like a deal breaker, but here you go, 89,000 bucks, you still don't get a fast charger.
Yeah, but 15,000 rupees phone.
No, I'm just saying.
Fast charger is going to cost around 1,500 rupees. That's 10% of the phone itself.
Okay, this
That's
is going to
completely
cost.
understandable.
Yeah, over here it's only 5% of the phone. It's a lesser percentage.
Even lesser.
Yeah, so you can't even pay 2-3% extra. What is this? Why are you buying the Apple, man? That kind of mentality. That's, and this is exactly how Sundar sounds once the camera turns off.
No. What's more beneficial to Xiaomi, Mi5x or Mi A1?
What do you think?
Mi A1?
iPhone 10?
To Xiaomi? To an extent, maybe they'd...
Mi5x or Mi A1? Short term it's the A1, long term it's the 5X, because overall they want more people to use MIUI. They want to build. So here's the thing, right, guys? You go check out my Mi A1 unboxing or anything related to the Mi A1. There's like a bucket load of people who go like, I want MIUI. You check out our speed test comparison, MIUI 9 versus stock Android. That's the A1 versus 5X, or the other way around. There were so many people who were like, I don't care if the MIUI is a little slower, but I want the features of MIUI. So that is how you build brand loyalty. And so for Xiaomi, in the long run, they want more people to use MIUI. But in the short term, the A1 lets them reach markets that they couldn't by themselves. Google's brand presence, the fact that it's a Google Android One phone helps them reach all those markets where they couldn't originally reach. And now maybe based on that, they could bring MIUI phones to those markets going forwards. It helps more people to know about Xiaomi. It helps them with the reach, with expansion and all that. So both are kind of beneficial, one short term, one long term, and that's that.
Do brands offer money to YouTubers for promotion and positive reviews for gadgets? How to identify such fake content?
See, here's the thing, right? Legally, you're expected to notify people if you're doing any sponsored content, and that generally happens. It's not really enforced in India, but then again, I don't really go around hunting to see if I've found some kind of paid videos or whatever. But these days it's just all too common. People don't agree with something you've got to say. This is like paid video, and some days I get pissed and I go and reply paid comment. It's like, but it's not something you can really identify unless and until it's totally weird. I don't know, something weird, a channel doesn't cover something. I mean, that could, see, here's where it gets really hard to identify. Right now, let's say tomorrow I decide to review a new brand of SIM ejector tools. Is that paid content because I've never reviewed it in the past, or is it just something that I was suddenly interested in because I got tired of poking Sundar with the same old SIM ejector tool over and over again? You know, it's not really identifiable today. Most of the people you see getting accused of doing paid videos, probably they do a comparison or cover a brand. I mean, Oppo and Vivo, you're not supposed to touch those brands as per, I don't know, whatever it is on YouTube today. You're not supposed to cover anything Oppo or Vivo. Or if you ever cover anything Oppo or Vivo, you're supposed to say it is shit, it is crap. If you don't say, use those words, and if you cover, then that's called paid content. At least that is how the perception is. So there is no way for you to really know unless and until the YouTuber comes out and tells you it is or it isn't. We generally do. If we work with a brand, it's always mentioned who we are working with, and there's also that little paid promotion thing that sometimes we click, sometimes we don't. I mean, if it's just a sponsor mention, you don't have to use the disclaimer. So it's always there. It would always be mentioned. So we can only speak for ourselves over there.
Apartment hunt update.
So I'm not picking this question for the next month or so. So here's your update. October sometime, the owner's flying down to India. We should be signing at that point. So by end of October, we'd get the place.
Are you getting the newly launched Xiaomi Mi
Mix
2,
Mi Note 3,
Mi Notebook Pro.
Mi Mix 2, Mi Note 3, yes.
Mi Note 3, yes.
Yeah, already placed the order.
Okay.
Mi Mix 2, I'm trying to get the funds together. Mi Notebook Pro, as of now, I don't have money because somebody keeps breaking my stuff. I didn't do anything. See, that's Harris, and he didn't do anything.
The phone you've been using for your speed tests.
That's Harris.
That's Harris.
You know, Barry Allen is the fastest man. A link to that, in case you didn't understand, is there in the description. Along with that link to that haircut. I'm so disappointed, dude. I am so disappointed. So freaking disappointed. So many people, you know how hard they work to click that retweet button. Tap it.
Yeah.
You ruined our dreams. So yeah, that's the answer.
Are you sure the dreams
it's not
are ruined?
over. As long as it doesn't regrow,
said I
then
ruined
it's
your
over.
dreams, right?
Yeah, because
So
if you don't regrow it and you keep shaving your head like this, then it's over. But if it grows, we will cut it live.
Alright. People will ask you for iPhone 10 versus Note 8, but I'm asking you for Note 8 versus iPhone 8 versus S8.
Note 8 versus iPhone 8 versus S8. I don't know, Apple versus Android. I've got to use the iPhone 8, but then if not, you can always check out my S7 versus iPhone 7. My answer's gonna be the same. You want Android, go Android. You want Apple, go Apple. iPhone rather. But this time around, I'm kind of looking at the benchmarks. I generally don't get too excited for the benchmarks, but what's different this time is the multi-core score is also extremely high, given the hexa configuration on, what do you say, the A11 Bionic chip. Yeah, and the last time around it wasn't it was either or for both sets of cores to run. Now all 6 can run at the same time, so that's the reason why the multi-core scores kind of like been boosted a lot. So I'm kind of intrigued to see how that performs. So I still like the Note 8. I wasn't excited for it, but I've been using it and I do like it.
He doesn't want to switch his SIM.
I don't want to switch my SIM. And I don't want to not use Jio, which is what I'd have to do.
If you
pay for Vodafone. I do pay for Vodafone. I'm so used to Jio. Jio is more stable these days.
Yeah.
So my pick, you want Android, go Note 8. You want a smaller form factor Android, go S8. If you want an iPhone, get the iPhone 8.
One reason for Xiaomi not bringing Mi 6 here, set aside the Mi Mix 2. Why no Mi 6? Their budget devices kill their flagships.
But your guess is as good as mine. Xiaomi's got Xiaomi Logic, just like Samsung's got Samsung Logic, and just like Apple's got, let's not throw in a quick charger with this Apple Logic. But I still feel Xiaomi is definitely wrong. If they could get the Mi 6 to India around 25, even 28K, it would be amazing. It's an extremely fast phone, excellent cameras. At that price segment, it would kill the killer of flagships. It could, probably. Small form factor. Maybe that's what it is, right? Maybe Xiaomi feels small form factor phones don't do well in India. Maybe. What do you think? Why do you think they're not bringing it to India? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
Galaxy S7 would be available on Flipkart at $29,990 in the sale. Worth it?
See, I've seen that screenshot as well. As long as it's really $29,990, it would definitely be most worth it. But if it is some of the BS that's been pulled in the past, wherein they say $29,990 in the promotional materials and then you go and see it's actually something like 40,000 and 35,000 and plus 7,000 exchange or something like that, then it wouldn't be worth it. So, but if it's like your final price is $29,990, then it's definitely probably worth it. Definitely worth it. I'd say definitely worth it. Quad HD display, excellent camera, single camera, but still excellent camera, fast chip.
What if Twitter failed? Which will be alternative social site you will adopt?
I don't know what alternate site I would adopt, but I wouldn't go Facebook.
Is there anything else?
I don't know. Something would come up.
I don't think so.
No.
No.
No. No. No Google Plus. I don't think anybody uses Google Plus.
Yeah. Facebook. That leaves us with Facebook.
I don't know. Facebook for personal stuff is okay. As in, for friends and family, it's fine. But then for YouTube, for business, Facebook, and they just keep
for this
wanting you
bigger
to pay
family,
money.
we want Twitter.
Exactly. Twitter is awesome.
How is Sundar feeling now? And why isn't Harris accompanying you in AshAnswers? I'm feeling good. Thanks a lot. Took about a week to get okay.
And break phones.
That was unfortunate. I wish I was bedridden for another 2 or 3 days.
Oh, now he's drawing at your heartstrings. Oh, Sundar, please don't say that. We're also happy you're back. I mean, Ash just lost 1K note. It's not like you broke the Note 8, right?
Any of that reactions. And why isn't Harris accompanying you in AshAnswers?
Harris met with an accident.
Yeah, Harris also actually met with an accident.
Yeah. He was like, nobody knows why. He was just riding his bike, or rather his dad's bike, and for some reason he was just going like this and he just rammed into something. And I mean,
that's the explanation.
You can I mean, that's what the bystanders told us, but you can draw your own conclusions. Why do you think he was going this way instead of going this way? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. I would really love to know what you guys think in the comments below.
Are we entering an era where mid-ranges are as powerful and good as flagships? What are your thoughts? Hashtag #MeA1.
Do we have battery life left is my thought. Guys, one of our backup batteries kinda stopped working, so we are running on one battery.
20 minutes more.
We've got 20 minutes more, so yeah, we can answer all the questions. He swiped it all away.
So are we entering an era where mid-ranges are as powerful and good as flagships? Hashtag #MeA1. What are your thoughts?
See, they are not as good as a flagship. The Mi A1 is not a flagship. As much as Xiaomi wants to call it flagship dual cameras, it's probably the best camera in the segment. We've used it, we love it. Yeah. We stand by our camera comparisons. The A1's cameras are awesome, but it is not a flagship camera. Something like the Oneplus 5 would blow it away. So it's good, but again, that's only camera. 625 on stock Android is extremely fast, great, but it's not as good as, say, again, OnePlus 5.
Yeah.
OnePlus 5 or even MUI. I mean, as fast as MUI on the 8 Pro. Yeah. So, but then again, compared to mid-rangers, a couple of years back, they are much better.
The performance difference between the mid-ranges and the flagships are like,
yeah, that's dropped down a lot more.
Yeah.
And with the rumors of Samsung actually bringing infinity displays to their A series next year, which means, yeah, forget the fact that Samsung's doing it, we're going to be seeing a lot more Chinese manufacturers following along with that those ideas, and which means it's going to narrow even more. With chips like the 625, you go back just one generation, right? What did we have before the 625? The 617, 616, 615. At that point, come on, the 801 and even the 810 was way better than the 615, 617, which were like absolutely horrible. The only phone that I've ever used that did not have heating issues with a 6.1 whatever inside, as far as I can remember, was Samsung's A7 or something, the original one. Okay. Samsung seemed to be the only brand who could actually implement it. I don't know why. So it's come a long way, but yes, the gap has narrowed, but I would still not say we're seeing flagships. It's just not realistically possible. If a brand can sell something for 15K, then they can sell something better for 30K. They just have more money to do it.
Huawei P10 or OnePlus 5?
What's your pick?
I pick OnePlus 5.
I'd go P10. 8 Pro versus, I mean, if it's around the same pricing. So 8 Pro versus OnePlus 5, it was too close to call. There were certain places where the 8 Pro had advantages. P10's got the same chip as the Honor 8 Pro, but then again, it's got a lower resolution display, which puts it on par with.
It's also got a smaller display, right?
It's got a smaller display.
Yeah, I think.
Yes, it's got a smaller display, 5 point something or 5 inches, whatever.
5.1 something.
So for me personally, I like the smaller form factor. That's one. Secondly, if the 8 Pro was competing with the OnePlus 5 in terms of performance, now with a smaller, lower resolution display, the P10 would probably do better. We wish we had the phone to do that comparison. That would be awesome. So that's two. And then the cameras are just amazing on the P10. Those are probably my favorite cameras outside of your iPhones and the Samsung flagships. I don't know. I guess if the P10 had as solid a video capability as Samsung does, I would probably even use it as my primary video camera. I mean, primary
outdoor.
Secondary video camera. Primary outdoor cam. So I do like the OnePlus 5, a lot of things about it, but I love smaller form factors. This would be a much more even competition if somebody gave me a OnePlus 5 with a 5-inch display. Okay. So this is just personal preference. Yeah, that's that.
Why is that Western YouTubers upload reviews of popular devices at the exact same time? For example, Note 8.
So that's called an embargo, dude. Yeah. So basically brands give them phones. They don't give us phones. They give Western YouTubers phones, and you can, they are allowed to post content after a certain time. So again, we get it for mid-range phones and all that, whatever. And again, even for something like the Note 8 and stuff, we get it around the time of the Indian launch, which always is later than the global launch. So that's that.
What tab does Sundar use during AshAnswers?
Mi5 3.
Mi5 3.
And in case you've not checked that review out. Next question.
That's it.
So those are all the questions that I picked for today's episode of AshAnswers. If you feel Sundar destroying stuff makes him Sundar the Destroyer, leave a hashtag. Poor Ash. That works too. So anyway guys, it's been 2 weeks since you've heard this. So let's go ahead and cut to that right now. You know, the reason you guys are here.
Yeah, no, so, before that, give this video a thumbs up if you liked
it.
Subscribe to C4E Tech for more videos like this. And hit that bell icon to get notified each time a new video goes live on the channel.
Till next time, this here is Ash along with my co-host Sundar.
Leaving for the moment.
No, yeah, no head shake, dude. We want to see that bald freaking head shake now.
Leaving for the moment.
Have a nice day.
People will ask you for iPhone X. People will ask you for iPhone 10 versus Note 8, but I ask you.
He has to correct it if he says iPhone X. As an Apple fan, he's gotta say it the way Apple intends.
But I ask you for Note 8 versus
No, you gotta
iPhone
read it
8
again
versus-
because this goes into the bloopers. I know you're trying to avoid it and get it just cut out, but no, hell no, it is going into bloopers. And hey guys, you know how we were talking about timings and everything at C4E Tech, right? So Harris texts me, he's gonna be here by 6-ish, and it's currently 7:32 p.m. and that is what is called 6-ish at C4E Tech. There you go. You heard him say 6 to 7. I wanted to say 6-ish so that he would jump in and say 6 to 7. And here you go, it's still 7:32. Caught red-handed. Height पे एप्पड़ी match आउदु bar. See there. We get to lower the camera because there's no hair taking up screen space.